Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I would love to give all praises and honor and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh being the name of God, and Yahweh Shai being the name of Jesus Christ, right? Which the world would ignorantly call Jesus Christ, right? And it's going to be a quick video on, pretty much touching on what's going to stop you, from serving the Most High. And I'm going to kind of go through a couple precepts and a couple accounts, on different characters in the Bible that nothing stopped them, from serving the Most High. Nothing stopped these men and these women from serving the Most High. They did whatever it took, They counted the costs and they lifted up their heads and they kept on plowing. I want to start there. All right, this is the book of Luke. We're going to start there. This is Luke 14 and verse number 30. Hold on, I'm going to go up a little bit. Luke 14 and verse number, I'll start at 28. I'll start at 27. It says, I got to go up a little bit more. I'll start at 26. It says, if any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and his wife and his children and his brethren and sisters, yet in his own life also, he cannot be my disciple, right? And whosoever doth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple, right? So if you can't forsake your mother, your father, your brethren, or your own self, you can't be the Lord's disciple, right? Continuing on, it says, for which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and count the cost, whether he have significance to finish it, lest haply after he had laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it began to mock him, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. So you can't let anything get away from you serving the Most High, man. You can't come into the truth and come into the knowledge of the Most High and want to learn about God and want to learn about the Most High, and you don't count the cost. You got to count the cost on whether you're going to have enough resources to finish the building. Are you going to be able to sacrifice and give up things for the Lord? Are you going to be able to give up and bear your cross, man? Are you strong enough for this? These are the questions that you got to ask yourself. You got to meditate on these things, man. So what the question poses itself again is, what's going to get in the way of you serving the Most High, man? Is it going to be a job? Is it going to be losing things? What's going to get in the way of you serving the Most High? All right, so let's get the first account. One of my favorite accounts. Let's get this right quick. All right. I might just read it because it's not loading. All right, I might read out the Bible, but this Mark 5 and verse number, I'll start at 23. And besought him greatly, saying, this Mark 5 and 23. And besought him greatly, saying, my little daughter lieth at the point of death. I pray thee, come and lay thy hands on her, that she may be healed, and she shall live. And Yahweh shine with him, and much people followed him and thronged him. So you got this man that came to the Messiah, and he asked him, to heal his heal his daughter. And you had a lot of people thronging the Lord, meaning it was a lot of people surrounding him. Like, you ever see like the celebrities, everybody's taking photos of them, people's around them. The security got to kind of knock this guy out because people are thronging the celebrity. That's how they was doing the Lord. They was on top of him, man. They was trying to get to him, So let's see what happened. Let's see what this woman did. Verse number 25. And a certain woman, which had an issue of blood 12 years. Right, so this woman, she had an issue of blood 12 years, meaning that she had a running issue, right? Something that was going on down there where she couldn't stop bleeding, So she had a plague for 12 years. This is what she had. Verse number 26. And had suffered many things of many physicians, and had spent all that she had, and was nothing bettered, but rather grew worse. Slakia. right? So she went to many physicians and she spent all her money, man. She went to, that's modern day, you could say she went to this doctor. She went to this, she went everywhere, man, you know? She spent all her money, you know, to fix this issue. And guess what? It rather grew worse, man. It didn't get better. It got worse. Continuing on. And when she had heard of Yahushua, came in the press behind and touched his garment. For she said, if I may touch but his clothes, I shall be whole. So you gotta really visualize this and think about this, man. This woman, she got an issue of blood. People are strong in the Lord. People surround the Lord. It's probably big men around the Lord, you know? You have this woman that got an issue of blood. She came behind the press. So you got to think about this. She had to get to the Lord, you know? She did everything in her power to get to the Lord. And she got to him, man. She didn't say, nah, I got this issue of blood. I ain't going to be able to do it. She didn't put her head down. She lifted up her head. Even though she was suffering these things, even though she was going through it for 12 years. Hey, look, she lifted up her head and she plowed, man. She lifted up her head and she kept going. And she had faith, man. You know, that she only touched the hem of his garment, that she'll be whole, man. So this woman didn't let that issue of blood get in her way from serving the Most High. You know, you can't let anything get in the way from you serving the Most High. And whatever issue or whatever thing you're dealing with, you can't let that get in the way of you serving the Most High, man. You know, you can't let anything in this world get in the way of your salvation. You know, I want to get, let's go to the next precept. Okay. Let's go to the book of Luke. So that woman, you could see, you know, she didn't let that issue of blood get in her way. Let's get another account. This Luke 19 and verse number 4. It says, and he ran before. I'm gonna go up. I'll just read from 19 and 1. It says, and Yahushua entered and passed through Jericho. And behold, there was a name Zacchaeus, which was the chief among the publicans, and he was rich. And he sought to see Yahushua, who he was, and could not for the press. So you got these different people that it don't matter what it take. It was a press, again, the same press that happened with the woman. You have this man, you know, Zacchaeus, man. Right? It says, I'm going to read verse number 3 again. He sought to see Yahushua, who he was, and could not for the press, because he was a little of stature. So you had this man, he wanted to see Yahushua, but he was too short. And everybody was around Yahushua, so he couldn't really see him. He kind of trying to jump up and kind of see the Lord, and he trying to see the Lord, man. But he can't do it. So let's see what this man did. Verse number 4. And he ran before and climbed into a sycamore tree to see him, for he was to pass that way. And when Yahushua came to the place, he looked up and saw him, and said unto him, Zacchaeus, make haste, come down, for today I must abide at thy house. You see that? So Zacchaeus, he climbed the sycamore tree, man. You know, if you climb a tree, man, you could get bruises and cuts, you know? The branches probably hit him on the face. But Zacchaeus said, look, I don't care if I'm too short. I'm going to see the Lord, man. So he went above and beyond to see the Most High. To see, you see Yahushua. You know? So Zacchaeus, he didn't let his height get in the way of him serving the Most High. The woman of issue of blood 12 years, she didn't let that blood get in the way of her, touching the Lord. Right? Okay, so let's go to the next account, This is the book of Luke, chapter 5, and verse number 19. And it reads, I start at 17. Luke chapter 5, verse number 17. And it came to pass on a certain day, as he was teaching, that there was Pharisees and doctors of the law sitting by, which were come out of every town of Galilee and Judea and Jerusalem, and the power of the Lord was present to heal them. And behold, men brought in a bed a man which was taken with palsy, and they sought means to bring him in and to lay him before him. And when they could not find by what way they might bring him in because of the multitude, they went upon the housetop and let him down through the tiling with his couch into the midst before Yahushua. So you got this next account where these men, it was a press, around Yahushua, around the Messiah, many people around the Messiah. The house is full of people. These men, they said, look, we're going to get to the Lord. So they got on top. You got to think about this, man. These men got on top of the roof, got the bed on top of the roof, got the man on top of the roof, started breaking the roof in to let down the bed so the man can get healed. That's called faith, man. Because they don't all that. That's to show you that you need works. Because when you continue on, verse number 20, it says, and when he saw their faith, how did the Lord see their faith? It was by the action that they had, what they did. He saw what they did to get to him. So he said, and when he saw their faith. So that's a precept to show you that you need works. Your works is how you show your faith. Right? It says, he said unto him, man, thy sins are forgiven thee. Okay, so you have this account where they didn't let the press get in the way. They didn't say, okay, well, we'll come back tomorrow, These men said, look, we're going to get to Yahushua. They got on the damn roof. They broke it down. And they got to Yahushua. So these accounts are showing you that nothing should get in the way from you serving the Most High, man. The Lord said in Sirach, I want to read this in the GNT though. Hold on. Let me get this precept. Let me get this precept right quick. I want to read this in the GNT. Okay, this is the book of Sirach 15 and verse number 12. Don't claim that he has misled you. He doesn't need the help of sinners to accomplish his purposes. So you can't blame and blame the Most High for your mistakes and for you going off. The Lord said he don't need sinners to accomplish his purpose. Lord don't need a sinful man. I want to read that in the KJV too. Lord said he have no need of a sinful man. Oh man. Now it's not gonna load. Right? Let me look this up. Hold on. Now it's not gonna load, man. See that? I get it right here. Sorry, 15 and 12 in the KJV. And it reads, say not thou, he has caused me to err, for he have no need of a sinful man. He don't need no sinful man. Alright, so you got that. Let's get another account. This is the book of Acts 5 and 15. It says, insomuch that they brought forth the sick into the streets and laid them on beds and couches, that the least the shadow of Peter passing by might overshadow some of them. You see that? So these men, even though this is not Yahushua, this is Peter. These men, they was bringing the sick into the streets. They laid them on the beds, and they were just hoping to receive for the shadow of Peter to come upon them, that they may be healed. You see that? So these people, they went above and beyond to serve the Most High. Okay, I'm gonna get two more, and I'm gonna close up. This 1 Corinthians 9 and verse number 24. It says, know you not that they which run in the race run all, but one receiveth the prize. So run that ye may obtain. Okay, so the Lord said you in a race. Not that you're in competition with other brothers, but the Lord said you in a race, man. Right? So the Lord said, if you're in a race, and you gotta run, man. You know, you gotta run in this race. You know, you're not running in this race to become number 3. You know, okay, I'm gonna run this race and I want to come number 3. Your goal is to become number 1 and to get the victory, right? So let me get the next precept. All right, this is the book of Hebrews, chapter. Hold on. This Hebrews 12 and verse number 1. It says, wherefore sin we are also compassed about with so a great cloud of witnesses. Let us lay aside every weight and the sin which does so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us, man. All right, so that's like you in this race, but you got a great cloud of witnesses, man. You know? And who is these witnesses? Who's watching this race? You got all your forefathers, man. Your forefathers is watching this race. They watch you run this race. And they're expecting you to finish, man. They don't want to see you fall and you kind of fall. You kind of gave up. They're watching you, man. You got a great cloud of witnesses. And they want to see you get the victory, man. I'm going to get one more. It's 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse number 12. Fight the good fight of faith, lay hold on eternal life, run till thou art called, and has professed a good profession before many witnesses. So the Lord said, fight the good fight of faith, man. And this is a fight, you know, to stay in the truth and to endure, you know, all the things that you got to endure. It's a fight, you know. But you press on, you know, and you endure unto the end. All right. Well, with that, I'm going to close up, giving all praise and honor and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And, hey, Shalom, Israel. Shalom. Shalom, Israel. Shalom.